my first response to the title of the event, like what does an exhibition want, would perhaps, in keeping with them, to think that maybe an exhibition doesn't want to be called an exhibition anymore, and maybe it doesn't want to look like the way exhibitions have typically looked the last 30 years. And maybe it is not just the biennales that we all have different relationships to that are exhausted. Maybe the very idea of an exhibition is exhausted. And so I think everybody here today is trying to address that in a different way. And I've really tried to think of these principles both as an accurate reflection of how we see ourselves today, as a self-definition, but also as a reflection of where we want to be going, where we're not yet, maybe. This is kind of the first of 3 institutional values. We aim to foster a new form of institution, one that imagines culture both as a discursive maneuver and a forum for the exchange of ideas, images, and events. We aspire to rehabilitate trust in institutions by moving beyond preservation or display, engaging the public in intimate dialogue about topical issues and shared concerns. Avant-garde histories and alternative movements and groups inform our organizational sensibility, and clearly I've been speaking in that way. Yet we resist these classifications because they imply an oppositional or countercultural status that is easily co-opted. Julie Alt makes that case very clearly in a book in which she mapped out the alternative histories of New York's alternative art scene, and she explains that the very idea of an alternative is a historical term that maybe is not the term to best understand or describe the situation we find ourselves in today. We cultivate our public through multiple projects and modes of engagement. That, of course, reflects what Julie and Ian were just saying. We consider a public to be local and international more than temporally and spatially associated strangers. Our best shows, the shows that don't fail as much, to go back to that question, are the shows that never end. They take the form of initiatives that just continue indefinitely in different forms. In interviewing all of these former directors, we just interviewed Seijima, the current director, just got the Pritzker a few weeks back. What we came to understand was they never thought of an exhibit simply in the way that we often think of it, as like the display of artifacts. They always thought of it as something more than that. And in a certain sense, it may not be that we need to like kind of completely rethink the exhibition. It may be that we just need to research and recover an earlier series of models. And so this is an example of how our projects come together at the end of the day. They take the form of research. They don't necessarily end. They become more like ongoing initiatives. And they are fundamentally self-reflexive opportunities to learn from the projects that we're doing. So.